Hey class, I'm Mr Thornton, and this is another Get That C quick tip on drawing graphs. In the previous two instalments, we've got our axes drawn and we've got our axes correctly labelled. All that remains to be done is to plot our points on here. Again, this is normally going to be a line graph. It would be extremely unusual for it to be anything other than a line graph. Maybe your teacher has suddenly developed a huge interest in getting you to draw an awful lot of bar charts, in which case maybe it's going to be a bar chart. But in every single piece of assessed practical work I've ever done with a class, it's always been a line graph. So if in doubt, you're probably going to be doing one of these. We need to plot our points, and you need to be careful when you plot your points. You're probably allowed no more than one error, and an error is usually counted as being 1 millimeter out. That is half of one of the tiny 2 millimeter squares on here. So you need to take a lot of care and a lot of precision. Again, I'm going to be using a felt tip so that it shows up on camera. You should be using a pencil for this. Make sure that you mark your points clearly with an X or a plus. So my first one is 0 and 21. That is just here. My next one is 1 and 36, and you're normally best off starting with the number here in this left-hand column and going up that line until you get to it. Now this is why it's useful to go up in numbers like 1s, 2s and 5s, because you'll find the spacing between these is nicely marked out, so it's dead easy for me to see where 36 is. That is just there. The next one at 2 minutes is 48, which is just here. The next one, 3 minutes, 58, just there. The next one, 4 minutes, 37, just there. And finally, 5 minutes at 70, just there. If you've drawn a sensible scale and you've drawn your axes correctly, that's how quick and easy it is to plot these points. All that remains to be done is to draw your line. Now, you've probably been taught all sorts of different things about how to draw these kinds of graphs. Often in maths, they'll get you to draw the line with a ruler. As a general rule of thumb in science, don't do that. In maths, they're dealing with ideal data. In science, we deal with real-world data. This is probably data that you've collected. So it's possibly going to have errors. I think if you look at this, we can see one thing in here, which is certainly something that we'd want to question. All you're trying to do is show the overall pattern. You are not trying to hit every point. Let me say that again. Do not try and hit every single point. You're just trying to show the overall trend. And the overall trend here, and it's easiest if you just draw this freehand as a single line. My paper's moving a little bit. The overall trend in my data is that. Just one single freehand line. Don't worry about hitting the point dead on. If you're miles away, then that's a problem. But so long as you're pretty much along that line, it's fine. And in particular, if there's one like this, you may want to put a little circle around that. Often you're going to be asked, were there any anomalies in your results? And there's one right there, something that we'd either want to go back and recheck or discard that result. We'd certainly want to do some more work on it. That's all there is. This is now a 4-mark graph. It'd be a good idea to put your name on because of course this is going to have to be handed in, and it would be a good idea to put a title on just for your own reference. But this, as it stands, would get you all the marks. Good luck in your GCSEs everyone, and if this video was useful to you, please use the buttons below to like, subscribe or share it with anyone else you think could also use a little help. Thanks for watching.